Hello, brothers and sisters. Hey, thanks for joining me again today. I found this story. It looks like it originally came out of the Telegraph. It's the intersection of two of my favorite things to talk about: free speech and the right to self defense, or the right to bear arms in general. IT consultant arrested after posing with a gun on LinkedIn. Okay. So it appears this guy here in this picture posted this on LinkedIn and he got nicked. John Richelieu Booth says he posted this image while on holiday in Florida. So, was he arrested in Florida for this? I don't know. Let's see. He looks like he's a little bit uncomfortable here, so he's probably learning how to shoot a shotgun. He's not really holding it very naturally, but he's got his ear protection on, so that's good. An IT consultant was arrested by police in Britain after he posted a picture online of himself posting with a gun in the US. Okay, right there, I got to stop. You should be able to post your holiday snaps without being arrested. Tell me if I'm wrong. Even if it's holding a gun, I know a lot of people don't like guns in the UK and that it's illegal to own or have a gun out in public in the UK, but he's in America. In most places in America, what I'm seeing in this picture is 100% legal. You can go have a gun for any lawful purpose, whether it be hunting, target shooting, self-defense. Maybe he's out duck hunting. Maybe he's out dove hunting. I don't see anything wrong with that. And then posting pictures of that, even in the UK, what's wrong with that? Now, if he posted it along with an outright threat to somebody, then maybe. So let's read more. John Richelieu Booth said he was shocked by the Orwellian decision by West Yorkshire police to prosecute him over the social media post. The 50-year-old said that on August 13th, he had posted a picture of himself on LinkedIn holding a shotgun while on a private homestead with friends during a holiday in Florida. I'd want to read his full LinkedIn post to see if it looked like he threatened somebody. It seems unlikely. It seems like he was posting holiday snaps for his business colleagues to see if he's posting it on LinkedIn. And it might be a little eye-catching since he's a consultant. Maybe he's trying to drum up business. Again, nothing wrong with that. Tell me if I'm wrong. Mr. Richelieu Booth claims the LinkedIn message contained nothing he considered threatening, with the picture attached to a lengthy post about his day and work activities. However, he said that a police officer later visited his home to warn him that concerns had been raised about the post. I was told to be careful what I say online. I need to understand how it makes people feel. Okay, so I'm going to stop it again right there. I cannot control how people feel when I say things or post things. Lots of people are going to get angry about it. And that's why I tell people to tell me what you think in the comments. And sometimes people like what I say and some people don't. And to those that don't, I usually say, don't watch this. I don't make anybody watch this. He doesn't make anybody read his posts. And he doesn't know what's going to offend people. If he's sitting in a restaurant taking a picture of his meal and he happens to be eating a burger and some vegan sees that and gets offended, should the vegan be able to call the police on him? The police should not be in the business of making sure people are not offended and acting on people's feelings. People's feelings and offense should not be criminal ever. Only people's actions. Because I don't know what's going to offend you. And I actually don't care. If you're offended by my videos, don't watch them. If I'm out in public and I say something that offends you, walk away. Don't engage with me. If you don't want to hear it, don't listen. Just leave. Don't call the police and criminalize my speech. Tell me if I'm wrong. Mr. Richelieu Booth said he offered to provide officers with proof that the picture of the firearm had been taken while he was in the U.S., but officers said that was not necessary. Mr. Richelieu Booth said two officers then returned to his home shortly after 10 p.m. on August 24th and arrested him. Madness. A bail document seen by the Telegraph refers to an allegation of possessing a firearm with the intent to cause fear, violence, and further allegation of stalking related to a photograph of a house that appeared on his social media post. So there was an allegation of possessing a firearm with the intent to cause fear or violence. Is that what you see in that picture, folks? It's not what I see. Now, I would have to read the rest of his post and see if he had threatened anyone, but I really doubt it. And then it seems like they went on a fishing expedition suspicion throughout all his social media, and they found something else objectionable. This is ridiculous. He said he was held overnight in a cell before being interviewed. Yeah, if you get arrested at 10 p.m., there's no judge going to be around. Mr. Richelieu Booth said he was initially released on bail until late October. He alleges the police officers then visited his property on 3 further occasions before he was rearrested in October for allegedly breaching his bail conditions. However, that charge was later dropped. Yeah, that's probably something like the Orwellians telling him, hey, you're not allowed to talk about this on social media or talk to anybody about this case. Again, I feel that's ridiculous. The laws in the UK are so vague, you can be arrested for anything. And then you have to spend months dealing with the police and solicitors and the courts to clear your name. And then they'll say, oh, but see, your name got cleared. No, you had to go through all that trouble. It's really a form of censorship because people will self-censor because they don't want to go to all that bother. It is a way for the Karens and the government to control you. This is something right out of George Orwell's 1984. 1984 should be required reading in schools today. I bet it's not. The firearms and stalking allegations were also dropped, but Mr. Richelieu Booth was charged with a public order offense relating to a different social media post. So again, they went on a fishing expedition. All the things they initially arrested him for turned out not to be crimes, but they found something else. He claims not to know which post he was being charged in relation to and does not recall being questioned by police about any specific posts he made on that date. Again, I think this is ridiculous. You should have the right to see the evidence against you at some point. They should tell you, hey, here's the post that you posted. We think that's illegal, and talk to you about it. Why wouldn't they show it to him? He should always be able to see the evidence that's against him. It's just a post or a tweet. It's not like a murder case where you got to show hours and hours worth of evidence. Show him the post. And he should have the right to confront his accuser. It should be public knowledge who made the accusation against him. If they're relying on anonymous allegations, I think that's extremely weak. And again, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know if that's okay. If Karens had to show up in court and give evidence of why this thing, whatever it was offensive, I think a lot of these things would go away. Because the Karens don't want to be bothered by it anyway. They just want to throw the hand grenade over the fence and blow up your life, and while they happily move on. No, make them go to court too. I want the accusers in court. He had been due to appear at Bradford Magistrates Court on November 25th, charged with the offense of displaying any writing, sign, visible representation with intent to cause harassment, alarm, or distress. Again, I saw nothing in that picture that I would think would cause harassment, alarm, and distress. And I know I live in Texas, so the rules are a little different. We're a little more used to guns, and I grew up around the U.S. military. I saw guns almost every day growing up. And so I'm a little bit inured to them. And in America, we see police with guns all the time. So I know it's a little different in the UK because you're not used to seeing them. But still, doing something that's completely legal should not cause harassment, alarm, and distress by itself. However, that charge was also later dropped. Yes, all charges were dropped. So he was unable to work. Mr. Richelieu Booth claimed he has been left unable to do his job as a self-employed IT contractor because the force seized his phone and computers. Yes, that's even worse. In today's world, your whole life is on your phone. So if they take your phone away, it really cripples your ability to do anything. And, if Starmer gets his way and gets digital ID in, and the digital ID is on your phone, all the services locked behind that digital ID will be unavailable to you if the police take your phone. So it's actually very serious when people take phones. So on that digital ID, they need to figure out what are they going to do if somebody has their phone taken away. And then for an IT consultant, it's even worse. Without a computer, an IT consultant can't work. That's right. Describing his ordeal as a massive overreach, Mr. Richelieu Booth added, anybody should be allowed to say anything they wish as long as it's not hateful. It's a slippery slope. Who gets to decide what is hateful? When did we go from a society where you can have a discussion with somebody and go, you know what? I don't like your opinion. I'm going to disagree with you, but I'm not going to tell you why. I'm going to call the police. Yeah, today the Karens and the leftists are quite happy to call the police to have them manage any speech that they don't like. And it's funny because it doesn't go the other way. People in the center and on the right, they don't call the speech police and the Twitter police. It is a leftist tactic. When did we get so thin-skinned as a society? Yeah, that's right. He said, I've always believed in truth and justice and stood up for the police and believed they are doing an important job of keeping order. Now I have no faith in the police. These kind of tactics are breaking the social contract between the government, the police, and the public. If you don't trust your government and you don't trust your police to protect your civil rights and do the right thing, we've got a problem as a society. Mr. Richard LaBooth said he was considering making a formal complaint against the West Yorkshire Police. He should. I will be filing a case against the police. I've been put through 13 weeks of hell, and I will be seeking quite a lot of damages. Yeah, he lost work because of it. I think he can make that case. And 13 weeks of his life were messed up while he had to deal with this. A lot of people don't want to go through that, so they will self-censor. But I say fight this in the courts all the time and then sue the bastards. A West Yorkshire police spokesman said, police received a complaint of stalking involving serious alarm or distress relating partially to social media posts, several of which included pictures of a male posing with a variety of firearms, which the complaint took to be a threat. Police investigated and charged the man with public order offense, but the case was then discontinued by the CPS. So yeah, we never saw all the pictures. We saw that one. So there may have been other pictures that somebody thought were more threatening. And also, to be fair to the police, I would like to have read the entire LinkedIn post. He should have posted it here so that we could have decided if it was threatening. Based on what this story said, I think this is all nonsense. Looks like the Crown Prosecution Service agreed, but it took 13 weeks for them to get there. Police should look at this, use their common sense, and if it looks like no real crime has been committed, they should tell the Karens to stop wasting their time. If there was something that looked like a threat, then they should be investigated. Let me tell you how this looks a little more to an American living in Texas. So Texas has much more lenient self-defense laws than the UK, obviously. We even go further than the US Second Amendment right to bear arms. Under the Texas Constitution, you also have the right to bear arms, and that right is even broader than the US Constitution. In Texas, you can carry all forms of self-defense tools once you're 21. Now, I think that should be changed to 18, but right now it is 21, and there's different laws that apply to people under 21. For self-defense purposes, you can carry guns, you can carry knives, you can carry clubs, you can carry pepper spray. So you can carry almost any kind of weapon for your own self-defense in Texas or for any other lawful purpose. My wife has got some pepper spray that she carries when she goes out jogging because we have coyotes in Texas. You never know when you're going to run across a coyote, and pepper spray is quite handy. As long as you're using it for a lawful purpose, there's no problem. And recently I was watching the new season of Landman, and I thought it was humorous. The lawyer that Billy Bob Thornton's character was fighting with said, "Yeah, I'll come out and meet you, but I just want to let you know I've got a license to carry a firearm in your state." And he laughed at her and said something like, "Hey, honey, you don't need a license to carry a firearm in my state." And in fact, that's one of the reasons why we all wave to each other in the car and are so nice to each other. Most of the people in Texas have guns in their cars. And it was kind of funny. I don't know if it's most, but I've always said at least 30% have guns in their cars or in their homes. And then in the first season, there was also another episode where Billy Bob Thornton's character and his petroleum engineer were going to confront some of his workers who had beaten his son so badly that he was in the hospital. And he pulled out what looked like a sap or a blackjack and said, "Hey, do you need this?" And the petroleum engineer said, "I never leave home without it," and pulled one out of his back pocket. And then they went and beat the shit out of the guys. That's not technically legal. That's assault. But you are legal to own saps, blackjacks, brass knuckles in Texas, all kinds of clubs, knives, and such for self-defense. And then if you actually do use them, you might have to justify their use to the police or to the courts. Spraying a coyote with pepper spray, they would say is reasonable. If somebody's about to assault you using pepper spray, I think they would say is reasonable. If you get into some kind of fight and you're assaulted and somebody else is the aggressor, they pull out a knife, fully legal to pull out brass knuckles or a sap and fight them with it. Then you just let the police or the courts figure it out. There's an old Texas adage that I think applies here. It's better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6. And another one, when a rapist is attacking you, the police are only minutes away. So I feel people 100% have the right to self-defense. Carrying weapons should not be illegal. I think that's a fool's errand that they do that in the UK because criminals will always find and use weapons of some sort. So all you're doing is disarming the normally law-abiding public and not allowing them to defend themselves. I much prefer the Texas way to the UK way. Tell me what I got wrong here. Is it right that this guy was arrested at least twice over this? Is it too much to allow all these weapons in Texas? As Billy Bob Thornton said, people are nice in Texas because everyone has weapons. There is something to that. If you've never been to America or if you've never been to Texas, you probably see all these bad guns and all this stuff on television. Texas is actually a relatively safe place. I find the places in America that have the strongest anti-gun laws are the most unsafe places in Texas. These are places like Chicago. You hear about shootings every day in Chicago. How often do you hear about them in Texas? Now, don't get me wrong. They do happen. There are knuckleheads. There are criminals. So it does happen. But I think Texas is a relatively safe place. And I think you should have the right to post almost anything you like and say almost anything you like, as long as you're not inciting immediate violence. That's where I really draw the line. Let me know what you think. Hey, like and subscribe if you do. And if you don't like it, don't watch it.